Hello, I'm Jon Winkelman, your spiritual fitness coach. Today we're talking about faithfulness. When I was 12 years old, I got to try skiing for the first time. I was terrible. Fast forward 2 years and I was still terrible. I hated it. Eventually, I tried snowboarding and I loved it. Plus, I could actually do it, so that made it even better. Now let's go back for a minute to my days of skiing. One of the reasons skiing was really not for me was that I crashed. A lot. And I'm not talking about your ordinary crash. I can remember at least twice when my crashes were so bad, they were what you call a yard sale. A yard sale is when you lose everything, right? Your skis pop off, you drop your poles, hat, goggles, gloves, everything gets scattered all across the slope like you're having a yard sale, hence the name. These are the kinds of crashes that hurt. They take time and work to recover from, and they are just generally awful. Sometimes, as believers, we have spiritual yard sale moments. We crash so hard, it seems like we have lost everything. And it will take work to get ourselves back together. And to top it all off, everything hurts. Whenever I think of this happening, I think of Abraham. Moses talked with God face to face. David was called a man after God's own heart. But Abraham was called the friend of God. And yet, when we look at Abraham's life, we see one yard sale moment after another. How could someone who failed so spectacularly be called the friend of God? Abraham was continually filled with doubt. He didn't believe that God could or would keep his promises, and yet he is the friend of God. Why? The life of Abraham teaches us a very valuable lesson about faithfulness. Faithfulness is not about perfect trust in God that never wavers. Faithfulness is not about a spotless record without any times of failure. Faithfulness is about having a yard sale moment, then getting up, doing the work to put things back together, and moving forward. Faithfulness is not about never doubting. It is about moving forward through the doubt, through the pain, and through the difficulty. God promised Abraham that he would be the father of many nations. And yet, when he was 86 years old, he hadn't had any children yet. In an attempt to solve this problem on his own, Abraham has a child with a woman who wasn't his wife. Things went horribly. Talk about a yard sale moment. God said, "No, that's not my plan for you. You will have a child with Sarah, your wife." Now here is the key moment. After this spectacular failure, Abraham gets back up and follows God's plan for a little while. We aren't going to go into the other sins and failures that appear in Abraham's life. Instead, let's go to Hebrews 11, where we see an amazing tribute. Hebrews chapter 11, verse 8. By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to a place that he was to receive as an inheritance, and he went out, not knowing where he was going. This passage goes on to mention several other times Abraham showed great faith. The life of Abraham teaches us an important lesson. Great faith is sometimes accompanied by great failure. Don't fear your doubt. Don't fear your failure. These things do not determine faithfulness. Faithfulness is when we get back up and keep moving forward, even when it is hard. You can win today over doubt. You can win today over failure. All you have to do is keep on going.